Hello, everyone. This is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horne. And I bring you a video this evening titled The Inner Calm That Attracts a High Quality Black Man. I got one for you. Before we go any further, always know my videos in the dating space. They're inspired by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push me with the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. But let's get right to it. The inner calm that attracts a high quality black man. And I was inspired to make this video because I see dismal and chaotic statistics that surround black women. And I'm a proponent of black marriage, black love. And that's why, my book cover is the way that it is. I have a black woman and black man on equal footing with hearts in between them because we're better together. And it's time for, a voice to rise up and help us understand each other so that we won't have so much separation between us. Okay. And the calm that attracts a high quality black man, it's everything that is opposite of the sisterhood. That's how you develop the calm. The calm takes place when you observe your individual life and your outcomes, and you observe the collective results of women in the black community, and you put it all together. And you have to develop a level of common sense that you have to go opposite of what the sisterhood is telling you. What's most perplexing to me, the indoctrination that pervades black women, that's the sisterhood right there. And what's most perplexing to me is that black women will not abandon the doctrine, the indoctrination that has them in dismal positions in terms of relationships, marriage, birth, things like that. That's perplexing to me. And so I just want to really get to the bottom of this and see if I can help create some sort of internal resolution of what you must do in order to attract and keep a high quality black man, because they do exist. The sisterhood says they don't, that quality black men don't exist, but they do exist. Okay. And the first thing is truly to abandon every piece of indoctrination, every tier of indoctrination that the sisterhood has implanted in your mind. Because what are the results? The results are being the lowest performing women when it comes to relationships, marriage, and birth of any segment of women on the planet. That's what the indoctrination of the sisterhood has gotten you. The indoctrination of the sisterhood says you're better than black men. The indoctrination of the sisterhood says your identity and your value is based on advanced degrees, material possessions, houses, associations, sororities. When the quality black man that has governed himself effectively and that can help you to elevate your life when you pair with him, he cares about none of those things. So the sisterhood has created a false identity and told you that the black man must celebrate these false things that he cares nothing about. And so when I say every advancement that you make with attracting a quality black man is going to go opposite of the indoctrination of the sisterhood, that's exactly what I mean. Why don't you find out what that quality black man is looking for, as opposed to the indoctrination of the sisterhood telling you what he's looking for, forcing that man to value things that he doesn't value. See, all of your accomplishments are neutralized when you meet a quality black man because he has those things and more most often than not. He has the degrees, he's probably accomplished, he has a roof over his head, you know. So why try to throw something in the man's face that he already possesses and tells him that he should value it? It's neutralized when you come across a quality black man. And that's why the statistics are so dismal, the outcomes are so dismal, because the only men that are impressed or will associate your accomplishment with your value are men who haven't done a damn thing for themselves. And those are the men that the higher level men, right? They can see the type of man that you're comfortable with based on who you reproduce with, based on who you consistently deal with. You can tell the world that, oh, I don't deal with this type of man, I despise this type of man, but that man is everywhere in the backdrop of your life. So the elevated black man, he's able to see through the lies and the manipulation in terms of what you tell the world you qualify for versus what you actually believe that you qualify for. And how do we know that that's what you believe that you qualify for? Because the residue of his presence is everywhere in your life. So the calm is when you begin to examine yourself in the results in your life, in the overall results of your sisters, in the indoctrination of the sisterhood, and you begin to peel back the layers of falsity that was sold to you that has created the dismal outcomes that pervade black women. You have to peel it back. And when you peel it back and you're honest about it, then you can begin to forge a new path and a new way of thinking, a new indoctrination that's going to get you a more elevated result than the dismal results that the sisterhood promises you when you adapt its philosophies. So you have to peel back those layers. And see, one thing, about the calm is that you have to have a very honest conversation with yourself in terms of the type of men that you've been interacting with and attracting. I guess this could be the second principle if you want to call it that. Because what I find is that a lot of the black women that I coach, I have conversations with, what I find is that they'll tell themselves that the quality black man doesn't exist because the quality black man is nowhere in their life. So they make themselves feel comfortable amongst their friends as well through an inner talk and inner conversation that's a blatant lie. It's a blatant lie. 55% of black men are single and childless. 60% of black men are in the middle class. There's a suitable pool of quality black men for you to choose from. But you're holding yourself back and you're negating your ability to have calm and you're engaging in chaos. See, chaos is when you blatantly and intentionally keep yourself away from where the quality black men are. This is what I see the most when I have this coaching and conversations with black women. They'll say the quality black man doesn't exist. Oh, where is he? And I tell them, especially where I am in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area, the DMV, I say, go downtown, go to happy hour after work. All these six-figure guys walking around and see the calm is right here. And what I find is that these women, they know where the men are. They're afraid that they're not going to be received. They know where the men are. They know they exist, but they make themselves and their girlfriends feel comfortable by talking as if these quality black men don't exist and downplaying every quality black man that enters their presence. That's how they make themselves feel comfortable because they're afraid they're not going to be received. So the calm is admitting that the quality black man exists, not being afraid to go to where he is, and preemptively doing the work on yourself so that you will give yourself a chance to be received. See, the calm is understanding that when you go to a more elevated man, the very thing that you're afraid of can possibly take place, but it's going to propel you to prepare for the quality black man. You're afraid of rejection. And that's what I found with these women. They've accumulated some baggage. They have the residue of some lower quality men in their life that they can't escape or erase. And so they act like the quality black man doesn't exist, but they're afraid to go to where he is because they're very comfortable with the type of men that are low quality and they have the residue of these men in their life. But if you're going to change your result, you're going to have to obviously do some things that you're not familiar with and that you're uncomfortable. Have you been nervous lately? See, being nervous is a catalyst to something that you're not familiar with, your next level of growth, your better outcomes. And so you're going to have to go into these spaces where these men are. And you're going to have to abandon every piece of indoctrination that the sisterhood has embedded in you in order to go to that man in a fashion that you respect and you revere his presence. See, for a black man to get to a place of making it to a place of success, having results in his life that he's been able to govern himself effectively, having a trail of results that surround him that's based on the man that he's become. He had to face himself. He had to overcome some things, the very things that I'm, urging you to do. And so once he gets to a certain place, he understands where he stands. He understands the pool of men that are out there, and he understands where he fits within that pool. It's not narcissistic, it's just called healthy awareness. And then what happens with a particular man like that, if he's being undermined, if he's being disrespected by any woman, because that woman believes that she's convinced herself that he doesn't exist, so she has to undermine him, he's going to disappear because he values himself. That's how he made it to where he is. And the only men that are going to stick around for the undermining, the disrespect, the condescending tone, the only men that are going to stick around for that are men who do not value themselves. And you get chaos and you get results in your life that are unfavorable when you can only ingratiate yourself in the space of men who do not believe in themselves, who are not aware of themselves. They can't lead themselves, but those are the only men that are going to tolerate imbalance and attraction, being talked to any kind of way. And that creates a chaotic experience. If a man can't lead himself, he can't lead you. And the sisterhood says you must lead. These men ain't shit. And where has that gotten you all? So that calm is going to have to develop through an acceptance of the truth that is staring you in the face. The calm has to develop in the face of the truth that is staring you in the face. You develop the calm by saying, I'm going to improve myself. I can read a book like How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women, which the sisterhood condemns. Because who is the black man to prepare for? That's where the calm develops, is when you know that you may have the residue of some bad decisions in your life, but since that man values himself, he will gravitate towards the woman that values him. And so you can't be afraid to get in the space of that man, because that man is going to go with the woman that gives him the best experience. Not a facade, not manipulation of an experience, but a genuine experience, because she understands what she must do in order to get into and remain in the space of a quality black man. See, your life is not going to change in terms of the type of men that enter your space until you learn to value the black man. It's just not going to change, because if you don't value the black man, but you're in the presence of black men, then the only men that you can be in their presence are men who don't value themselves. But when you learn to value the black man, now you can get into the presence of the black man that values himself. He's more grounded. He has better results. He can effectively lead you to places that you've been unable to take yourself, because that's the design of creation. That's the order of creation. And so I want you to think about those things. And the the calm is in abandoning manipulation. We'll call that the third principle. The calm is in abandoning manipulation and desperation. Now, it's okay to observe the statistics. Let's just throw it out there, because everybody is fully aware of these statistics, of which I think the latest calculation was that 72% of black women are never going to be married. That means roughly 28% are ever going to be married. 50% of those women, those married women, are not going to make it past 5 years. You roughly have a 1 in 10 chance of getting married and making it past 5 years. 90% of black women are going to procreate, have a child before they leave the earth. 78% of those births are going to be out of wedlock. No man present, no relationship present, no marriage present. And statistics like that can cause desperate movements to escape those statistics. But you escape those statistics through calm realizations of yourself and trusting yourself in the work that you've done on yourself to prepare for the things that you want. The escape from the dismal statistic, the escape from everything that the sisterhood celebrates. the calm. And see, instead of using tactics, manipulative tactics like dating with intention, date with outcomes, date with awareness, okay? What I mean by that is when you get with a man, don't put the end in front of him and say, this is the only way that I'm going to deal with you, as if this end is in mind. Because if you put the dating with intention, if you lead with the end, oh, we have to be dating for marriage, you have to be dating for a relationship. If you put the end before the natural progression that has to take place emotionally between the two of you, then that is a desperate ploy and a desperate plea. See, when you trust yourself, you understand that you can get in the presence of a man. And since you're a departure from the other women that he deals with, and you're solidified and you're honest within yourself, you have a calm, then he's going to gravitate towards that. And he's going to come to the conclusions in his own time, in his own mind. See, you don't have to force or control or maneuver a man into a situation that you want him to be, because a man is going to be upset if he's pushed to a place that he has not arrived at yet internally. Chaos. So you have to learn to trust yourself. You trust yourself through developing and becoming a match for the things that you want. You trust yourself by abandoning the indoctrination of the sisterhood that's created dismal results amongst you and your sisters. That's where you have to trust yourself. When you trust yourself, there's a calm. And when there's a calm, there's an ease of connecting with the things that are for you. Calm is, I'm going to go through life as myself. Calm is not running away from your bad decisions and trying to hide and mask them. Calm is showing up and saying, this is who I am, but this is the work that I've done. And I'm not selling myself. I'm telling you who I am. See, women could get better results if they just showed up as themselves. Women could get better results if they trusted themselves enough not to try to manipulate and get as much as out of a man as you can before he finds out who you are. That's chaotic and that's desperate, the opposite of calm. And that's what pervades the minds of the sisters, the sisterhood. Yeah, take advantage of him. Make him do this for you, make him do that for you. And so you're leaning on manipulation because you're afraid that who you are is not attractive enough to get the things out of the men that you want. And manipulation only attracts another manipulator. So you'll say, okay, you'll I'm gonna lay this, I'm gonna put this pussy in front of him. I'm gonna dangle it in front of him. And I'm gonna get as much as I can out of this man. And maybe if I'm decently attracted to him, I have sex with him. Or if I'm not attracted to him, I'm going to get as much as I can out of him before he finds out that I'm just not sexually attracted to him. That is the governing mindset that pervades the sisterhood right there. See, if you only believe that you have a vagina and that's your only value right there, right? That negates your qualities. See, when you trust yourself and you have a calm, then what that does is it says, I trust my qualities that they're going to be attractive and they're going to attract men and inspire them to stay. But when you haven't developed your qualities, then all you have is a vagina. And they come standard on every woman. And if the man is attractive, he has access to them regularly. And if the vagina was so powerful, because you're selling it, you're leveraging it, if it was so powerful, then why are the results collectively in the relationship space and the backdrop of Black women's life so dismal? If this vagina has so much power. And see, that's where the calm is. You're having honest conversations with yourself. And you're saying, you know what? Leveraging my vagina has gotten me nothing. Why don't I leverage something different? How about my qualities? How about I develop my qualities? How about I find out the qualities that quality Black men actually enjoy, actually respect? But see, in order to even take your mind in that direction, you're going to have to abandon the number one principle that governs the sisterhood. And that number one principle is I'm better than him. Kevin Samuels told us. He said black women have their own race. And Kevin Samuels also said there's a low level contempt for black men. And let me show you how this plays out in real time. This plays out in real time how I can be at somewhere like a networking event. And I come in there and, dressed the right way, looking good. I'm 6'5". Some women would say I'm attractive. And then I get to talking to women. They find out what I do. I say, part of what I do is dating coaching. And then women will say, oh, what qualifies you to do that? And then I say, well, there's a small newspaper called the Washington Post that at 28 years old asked me to write an article. And I proposed a title. And I merged the worlds of motivation and dating. Fear of the Pretty Face. You can look it up. And DC went wild. And then after the success of the article, I wrote my first dating and relationship book, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life. Then it sold worldwide. And so I'm sitting there. And then since these black women have convinced themselves that men like me don't exist, and God forbid they find out I don't have children, since they convince themselves that men like me don't exist, they get up and walk away. That's what it looks like in real time. We understand the conversations that you're having amongst yourselves. We understand every principle and precept that you think are hidden. They're in plain sight when you're in the sight of the quality black man that you can pair yourself with and get better results within life. We can hear the conversations through your movements, through the disrespect, through the instinctive movement, the instinctive way that black women will disrespect the quality black man. We can hear your conversations at the brunches, at the kickbacks. Oh, these men ain't this, these men ain't that. Oh, they collectively, we doing better than them. We can hear it. In the bothersome part, and the worst part, the troublesome part, is that the men that actually are the opposite of what you proclaim that black men are hear it the loudest. And like that's going to turn them off. That's going to turn them off when the black man is in your space. He's elevated. He's worked on himself. He's done nothing to elicit any sort of disrespect from you, but that's the first instinctive movement that comes towards him from the sister. So you have a choice to make. You can stop hiding. See, hiding is chaos. Having a duality of conversation creates circular movement. We're the good men, but yet and still the good men exist. And so the real conversation, the pervading conversation in the sister is, how can I hide from the good man? Through talking and acting as if he doesn't exist. How can I stay away from where he is? Yeah, you might have made some bad decisions once again. We're human beings, we all have. But you have to present yourself. You have to own yourself. That's where the calm is. The calm is in saying, once upon a time, I did things a certain way. I saw that did not serve me. So I did the work on myself. That's the calm right there. And that renews your mind. That creates the change. And when the change takes place, it's not manipulative. It's entrenched in truth. And then that work on yourself, that new truth is going to set you free. And you're going to enter a new space in which you have access to higher calibers and quality of men. So that's where the calm is. It's through the inner work, through the abandoning the indoctrination of the sisterhood that's gotten you absolutely nothing but chaotic, dismal, circular results. And you have to ask yourself, which side of the coin do you want to be on? And if you're listening to me, just by the statistics, things are not working out in your favor. But this is a different way. This is a different way. And this has been the calm, the inner calm that attracts a high quality black man. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that this was fruitful to you. It's brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push with the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. And if you're in need of coaching, I want you to reach out to me. I'll put it in the video description. My coaching information is reach out to me at matt@matthewchorne.com. Leave coaching in the subject matter of the email. In the body of the email, you leave your name, your phone number, and just give me a brief description of what you're facing in the dating space. I'll come up with the solution. I'll email you back with the terms of the coaching. And once you accept the terms, we set a date and time, and the breakthroughs will commence, okay? It's really that simple. Reach out to me. But outside of that, I hope to see you all soon. I will try to, be a little bit more consistent on my channel for my beautiful Black women and try to bring you the best offering that I can. But until then, just contemplate the words of what I said. Understand that the inner calm is an intoxicating scent. It's going to attract the right man into your space, and he's going to want to remain there. You have to face yourself. You haven't been getting the results you want. It's time to bring the conversation inward. And what you find, confront it. And if you feel like you need to change it, attack it. And once you do that, you're going to enter a new space of truth. Your mind will be renewed, and the results in your life will be extremely elevated. And that's the place that you want to be. Abandon every precept and principle that the sisterhood told you, because it's setting you up for dismal results and chaos. I see you all soon.